Okay, what is up, guys? So, Tom Aspinall is rematching Curtis Blaydes. Now, this rematch makes sense. I remember when that first fight happened. It ended with Tom Aspinall being injured and out for a while. And I thought it was a pretty foregone conclusion that Blaydes was a better fighter than Aspinall. And I kind of took it as Blaydes was just the better fighter. Aspinall's not really going to go as far as we thought. And then he came back, and then he did do a comeback fight against a guy who was, middle of the pack. I forget who that guy was. But then he faces down Sergey Pavlovich, who was just knocking dudes out first round after first round. I think one of them was Curtis Blaydes, who was either in the first or second round. I believe it was the first round where Pavlovich just put on a clinic against Blaydes and finished him. Made it look easy. Pavlovich at the time was the boogeyman of the division. And then here comes Tom Aspinall, a complete underdog story for an interim title that Aspinall just whoops. Aspinall is the one that KOs the guy that was actively knocking out active fighters. And he's rematching Curtis Blaydes. I mean, he should be fighting for the title. I think it should be both. I think, honestly, defending an interim title is ridiculous. And it's almost like that Tom Aspinall should be fighting John Jones. Because if John Jones is really the greatest of all time, like a lot of his supporters still claim, why would he want to fight Stipe, who's obviously older and probably very vulnerable at this point? Because if you actually understand the way the sport works, of course I think Stipe is going to be an easy fight for John Jones at this point. It's going to be an easy title defense. He's the heavyweight champion, but he hasn't gotten a defense yet. But you have an interim champion that doesn't get to face it. Now, this isn't the first time that an interim champion's been screwed over in UFC. Tony Ferguson, Colby Covington, and then it changes the rules of the interim championship every time. And part of me still gives credence to John Jones for still being one of the best to ever do it. He was the man. He was him in his heyday, despite all the controversies, despite all the failed tests, despite all the times he's had to vacate his title. But to see him get to fight Stipe and make it a title defense. What should be happening, and this is without a shadow of a doubt, because I always try to play devil's advocate on MMA commentary and not just be one of those trash talkers with a channel. Actually just look at all of it from every angle. I can't look at another angle from this. This is the one time where I'm taking a really hard stance on this. If John Jones wants to face Stipe, you can make that a main event without having the title on the line. Look at what they're doing with Conor McGregor and Michael Chandler. Of course, he's going to always be the main event. He's been the main event without titles on the line before. Dustin Poirier 2, Cowboy Cerrone, Dustin Poirier 3, and now he's going Michael Chandler. Why can't you do the same to John Jones and just give him a main event without a title where he's still going to sell a ton of pay-per-views and still just have an entertainment-based fight? And then you could have Tom Aspinall and Curtis Blaydes fight for the actual heavyweight title. Even though I really don't think Curtis Blaydes is the guy to face for the title, because Curtis did beat Jalton Almeida, but Jalton did give him trouble until he got it. So I think Tom Aspinall could actually win this fight, to be honest. He got a really good shot. Because I started to see aspects of Blaydes' game start to slip, despite Blaydes always being that top dog in the heavyweight that was always kind of overlooked by a lot of people. But he was top of the notch, one of the scariest dudes to ever grace that octagon at heavyweight. But he could fight for the title, because who knows? Maybe he beats Tom Aspinall again. Maybe an upset on top of an upset. But to withhold the title from these guys when John Jones has been yet again getting into more trouble and he could always fight Stipe without a title, The whole thing just smells rotten to me. And you know what? Maybe I'm looking at the belt as a construct itself, and I got to play both sides. Screw it. Just like Tony Ferguson versus Kevin Lee when Conor McGregor was playing whatever when he was sleeping on both those titles. Remember that era? Well, he slept on the 55 title longer than the 45 title. But I remember there was that interim championship between Ferguson and Kevin Lee. And what happened was everyone was saying this is for the real lightweight championship because Conor's not active. I feel like this, although it's an interim title, which I've never seen an interim title defense in UFC history before, this is for the real heavyweight title, at least in all of our hearts. And am I still going to tune in to watch John Jones versus Stipe? Yeah. But I don't have any wool pulled before my eyes. And neither should any of the rest of us. But I am looking forward to seeing the rematch. Because maybe Tom can get it done. Maybe that first fight would have gone a completely different direction had he not gotten injured. I judged a book by its cover, and I just want to read the pages. Peace out.